I am a firm believer that with any skill in life, you learn a lot more by getting out there and earning life experience, rather than sitting around planning and anxiously waiting to be more prepared. I recently traveled to the northeastern region of the United States, visiting my friends in New Hampshire, Boston, and New York City. And I brought my camera with me because I knew this would be a golden opportunity to collect some good B-roll for future videos. For those that aren't familiar, A-roll is footage where I'm talking directly to the camera, and B-roll is supplementary footage that relays over my talking. And look, I'm no videographer, no cinematographer, don't have any professional camera experience. I'm just a guy with the camera trying to get some cool shots to put in my videos. And so as I spent my days traveling around the Northeast, I set a goal for myself to collect 500 shots of B-roll. And so from the perspective of a novice YouTuber who doesn't know much about filming, here's what I've learned from that experience. This is the only lesson that's actually about how to film. And that's because this isn't a filming techniques video. Rather, it's a video about how to find your voice in the film world and the side effects of doing so. But I'd say if you know absolutely nothing about collecting B-roll, the easiest cue to keep in mind is to film people, places, and things. And this might seem obvious, after all, people, places, and things might make up majority, if not all, of the things that you can film. But for me, this tip is helpful as a cue to remember to diversify my shots. If I feel like I'm filming a lot of buildings or architecture, this cue reminds me to switch it up and maybe film more human interactions or different objects. And I find that all of these shots in unison help to convey a message or a theme that the video is about. This also made me realize why there's so many vloggers in New York City. I mean, the city is just filled with so many photogenic spots, and there's just so many people to capture human interactions from. Filming B-roll is a lot like trying to make hot tea on a moving bus. There are a lot of things happening around you, but 100% of your focus must go towards the act. Otherwise, you might not be happy with the results. Okay, I don't know if that made any sense. I just needed to use that shot. My point is that you can't be self-conscious about what others are thinking of you when you're filming. Because if you're in that state of fear, you won't be able to access that part of your brain responsible for creativity. And I think we all know that in public, no one cares about us, no one's paying attention to what we're doing. But it's all easier said than done, right? We all still have social anxiety. We have that voice in the back of our heads saying, don't do that. People will stare at us. And honestly, there's no easy way to fight this voice. My strategy is to just keep doing uncomfortable things like this until I become more confident. I think once you get to a point where you're in your own world and everyone that you don't know doesn't exist, that's when true creativity can shine. I truly believe every creator has their own individual style of filmmaking that they can only unlock once they get over this mental block. When you're filming 500 shots over a 5-day period, when you're on vacation, I think it's more than likely that not all of those shots are gonna pan out. But if there's anything I've learned from bigger YouTubers, it's that these boring or poorly filmed shots can still be incredibly useful. The benefit of filming in quantity is that you have a plethora of footage to use. This is a trick I see YouTubers use all the time. Boring shots, when stacked up, become far more interesting and can be utilized in intros and transitional moments. And I think that's the difference between a YouTuber and a cinematographer or a professional videographer. Not all the shots have to be good or even relevant, as long as they add to the story in some capacity, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. I used to think that constantly holding up a camera meant that I had to sacrifice my presence during a given moment. I still believe in big moments of our lives, it's better to get others to film for us so that we can give our full focus to the occasion. But in smaller moments, like exploring a new or current city that you live in, I find that filmmaking can actually help you become more present. If you've lived in a place for a while, it can be easy to get detached from your surroundings. And if you're new to a city, it can be challenging to appreciate the smaller details of your environment because you're more focused on, let's say, how to navigate the subway or make it to your dinner reservations on time. FYI, I did not. But because I had this camera and admittedly a lot of downtime when I traveled, it gave me the opportunity to really appreciate some of these smaller moments. And that realization felt nice, knowing that my camera was actually helping me to unlock new, local experiences wherever I travel. A professor at the University of Florida conducted an interesting study. he had half of his students film for quantity, as in by the end of the semester, the number of photos that they took determined their grade. And the other half of the students were told to film for quality. They would submit one picture at the end of the semester, and the quality of that one picture would determine their grade. Surprisingly, by the end of the semester, the professor realized that all of his best pictures had been taken by the quantity group, the group that focused on getting more experience and channeling their creativity unburdened by the pressure of perfectionism. This makes sense, so I told myself the same thing, that if I filmed 500 shots during this trip, at least 200 would be good, either by sheer damn luck or by intuition and self-learning. And this definitely worked out. While a good few shots just didn't pan out or too shaky to be used, there were a good few decent shots caught on camera, as well as a few hilarious moments. And that all happened because I left my fear of trying something new, as well as any false ideals of perfectionism behind. I just focused on capturing my experience and the environment around me, and things seemed to work out. Anyways, these are 5 of the many lessons that I learned while filming all these shots. If you're curious, most of these moments were filmed on my Sony ZVE-10. I don't have a fancy lens, nor do I have a drone or anything, just using the kit lens of my camera and occasionally my phone. And I still feel like I've only scratched the surface of what's possible. But with more practice, I'm sure there will be many improvements down the road. So if you want to see that journey unfold, I recommend you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Now get off the internet.